Hey guys, it's Ox here and welcome back to my channel. We are back early with a follow-up video on the RD75. So I already did a full uncut sound test on this new board by Womier. So let's cut to the chase, and today let's review and take a look at the RD75. A quick disclaimer that the board was sent by Womier for a review, but of course I'll give you guys my honest and unbiased opinion about the board. Now I'll place the corresponding links for the board on the description down below, as the Kickstarter for the board should be up by now. So first, let's talk about the things that you should know about the RD75. Now, the RD stands for Rapid Disassembly, and this is a budget, pre-built, full aluminum PCB gasket mounted board. And speaking of the PCB, it has a magnetic PCB, it's also tri-mode, and it's also QMK and VIA ready. And as per the name, it has the famous bowl cut structure. Now, this is Womier's first Kickstarter project, and it should be up by now, and I'll be posting some pictures that you need to know about the pricing and the variants. So there's two variants. A standard series starts at $89 for the super early bird and $95 for the early bird. While there's also a Pro series, it will start at $109 and can go up to $129 depending on the configurations and options that you get. Now, in case you'll miss the Kickstarter or the early bird pricings, the SRP should start at $109. Now, let's go ahead and unbox and take a closer look at the RD75. So this comes in with a nice package, but would have been nicer if a keyboard bag was included. You know, that would make it a really good budget keyboard if you add a keyboard bag. Anyways, mine came in with the manual, but I'm pretty sure a mass production units will have it. So we'll get a usual USB cable, switch and keycap puller, and some extra switches. So onto the board itself. So this is a non-exploded, no knob, no LCD screen 75%, but has that LED indicator at the top corner of the arrow keys. Now, taking a look at the side profile, it has that conventional box and wedge look with some added curves. Now, the board has an 8-degree typing angle, and bezel-wise, from the top, bottom, and the side, I can say it has that thicker bezels look to it. Now, taking a look at the back, the variant that it came with is a brushed stainless steel weight, and added to the weight, there's this case badge with the waveform logo that also houses or acts like a magnetic storage compartment for the wireless dongle. Speaking of the wireless, again, the PCB is QMK and VIA ready, so that's very nice to see. And PCB wise, it has some good amount of flex cuts, same as the default FR4 plate that it came with, which we're gonna talk about later. Now, for my favorite part, let's take a look at the finishing on the board. I specifically asked for a silver one to better see the finishing quality on the board, but you have three other options. Standard variant, it has an anodized blue, and for the Pro variant, it's anodized black and a powder coated beige. Now, for my verdict on the anodizing finish, on these ones, it's not too shabby, but I can say I had seen better at this price point. So it has that matte finish. It's like in the middle actually. It's smooth, but you can actually feel a bit of a roughness and might be a dirt magnet in the long run. But then again, it's considering this is a silver case. Now, we did mention this is a pre-built board, so it comes in with Womier's full set of full palm switches, which I made a review on. And TLDR, it's a full palm switch, has a nice bottom out, and for the tone, it's a clacky switch. So for the keycaps, it's a double shot PBT cherry profile, which to my surprise, it's actually very nice. The legends are sharp and crispy, texture is smooth as well, and also this is a very nice stock inclusion for the pre-built board. Now, speaking of stock, the board has two gasket options: the conventional silicone gaskets and the dumbbell-like gaskets if you want a softer typing feel. There's also this thick gaskets at the side of the PCB. Now, the stabs here is a plate-mounted stabs, which was lubed nice and feels consistent enough. So now that we have pretty much covered the things that you needed to know about the RD75, let's do the sound test. Again, I have made a full uncut sound test of the board using 5 different switches, and also doing a foam versus no foam. In case you want to hear the sound test, the links are down below. For the sound test here, I will be using the stock switches and do a case versus no case foam, and using one other linear and one tactile switch as well. Now before the sound test, please do keep in mind that the sound and experience, it will always vary depending on the configurations that you have or built on your keyboard. So with all of that out of the way, please do enjoy the sound test on the RD75. And that was the sound test on the RD75. Please do let me know and what you think about them on the comment section down below. Let's have some quick discussions. Let's now talk about my overall thoughts on the RD75. Quality wise, for the price point with the base price of the $109, considering it also has the super early bird and early bird pricing for the Kickstarter, I would say it's actually good from the build quality and finishing standpoint. It's up there with the other budget price 75%, and not to mention it has a good stock switches and a good stock keycaps. Now typing feel wise, it was nice that they added 2 gasket options, being the silicone and the Dumbo. Well, honestly, there wasn't a night and day difference, but the typing feel was okay, not too bouncy, and still has nice amount of stiffness and give while typing. Now the stock switches that it came with, the full palm, the switches were great as well. The feel was balanced and bottom out feels nice and rounded, and it wasn't that light with the actuation force. Now sound wise, this is where I will be a bit critical. Now I don't mind the flex cuts on the feel, but with the sound, I didn't like how it sounded, as it sounded a bit all over the place, especially with no foams. The board isn't hollow with no foams, but the flex cuts, it's just too much for me. It just sounds thin. And honestly, this is my first time that I like a board with foams, because it sounded more pronounced, more alive and solid than the no foams. Now of course it sounded a bit foamy with the case foam, but one thing that I have noticed is that the board, it has a high pitch or clacky sound profile, and with all the switches that I tried with it, it really has that high pitch clacky sound profile. Now I did talk directly with Womier about this, and moving forward they will try to consider or redesigning the flex cuts on the PCB and plates. Overall, the RD75, it's a good contender versus other plethora of budget 75% right now. And just like what I said on the SK75 and the other 75% that I've reviewed, I would say at this point, it will just boil down on how you'd like your 75% to look like. May it be an exploited layout, a one with the knob, a one with the LCD screen, or even design gimmicks like back weights. Honestly, this board works for those who wants a one and done and just wanted to try a custom keyboard, as this one comes with the quick disassembly, magnetic PCB, and I can say this is a good beginner and friendly custom keyboard. And that is it for the video, guys. I hope you find the review helpful on the RD75, and I hope you like the review. If you do, please don't forget to like the video. I have more keyboard reviews coming up, and also you can share if you want. You can subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys on the next review. Peace.